Good morning, everyone. Let's start with today's topic, that is arthroplasty. This is the best example. THR, one of the part of arthroplasty, one of the type of arthroplasty. Contents will be definition, principles of arthroplasty, arthroplasties, types of lower limb, hip joint, knee joint, and ankle joint, arthroplasties of upper limb, shoulder joint, elbow joint, wrist joint, and hand. Definition. It is a surgical procedure to assemble a new artificial mobile joint made up of your metal and placed or fixed with the help of bone cement by replacing the joint partially or totally with an artificial joint, also known as your prosthesis. Importance of arthroplasty. What are the importance? To restore pain-free functional range of motion, to make patient mobile, to rebuild a severely degenerated arthritic joint. Coming to principles. First one, durability. When we are talking about principles of arthroplasty, we know the metal implant are used to replace the original joint. So metal implant should have some durability so that they don't wear and tear off easily after the operation is done. That is nothing but your durability. Second point, low friction movement at the articulation. They must permit low friction movement in order to reduce the wearing and tearing of the prosthesis or your implant. If the high friction movement are induced on the prosthesis, they might get wear and torn off or even may get fractured or displaced after degeneration. To reduce this, the material should be very good enough. They must be firmly fixed with the help of either cement or the screws in order to avoid dislocation of the prosthesis. Fourth point, should not provoke any unwanted reaction. They must be inert. Fifth point, a selection of the prosthesis and fixation technique must be very important and depend on patient's bone structure, joint stability, and other individual characteristics such as age, weight, and activity level of the patient. Sixth point, to reduce the risk of an infected prosthesis, especially this is very important because sometimes the body doesn't understand that the prosthesis is itself own part. It might produce reaction against it in order to kill the prosthesis, hence produce infective reaction. This the care must be taken to avoid this. Special precaution should be carried out. Coming to arthroplasties of the lower limb. Arthroplasties of the hip joint, in which the first one will be dealing with hip joint. It has two parts. One is replacement arthroplasty and one is excisional arthroplasty. Let's first deal with what is replacement arthroplasty. Replacement arthroplasty is nothing but replacing the joint, either partial or complete articulating surfaces. Let's look at, there are two types, hemi replacement and total joint replacement. Hemi replacement is only a side of articular surfaces is replaced. That is, either the articulating surface is removed and replaced by the prosthesis, either of the articulating surface, that is either in your hip, let it be your femur or your acetabulum. It is replaced by a prosthesis of similar shape and size. Hemi replacement of hip is usually indicated in fractures of femoral neck in elderly patients. Then now we know the hip arthroplasty consists of two types, hemi replacement and THR, that is your total hip replacement. In hemi replacement also there are two types. First one is Austin Moore, second one is Thompson. Let's look what are these Austin Moore and Thompson. Austin Moore has two fenestration, nothing but these two holes. Let's look into the parts of Austin Moore and Thompson. You will understand by yourself what are these. Austin Moore has transverse collar, head, stem with fenestration, whereas Thompson has acutely angled collar, head, and stem. So, what are the parts missing in Thompson? First one is fenestration, and the changed part is acutely angled collar. These two are changed. Thomson Moore prosthesis is usually used in young patients when you want a THR done, whereas Thompson prosthesis is used in old age because Austin Moore has fenestration. Fenestration are nothing but the holes present within the stem. Stem is located into the shaft of the Stem is located into the shaft of the femur. When the patient is young, his bones have capability of growth. So the bone may land up growing through these holes, growing through the fenestration. Hence, fenestration facilitate bone ingrowth and anchor the prosthesis through the shaft, hence used in younger patients. These are the two types of hemiarthroplasties. The cement used in arthroplasty in prosthesis is also known as bone cement or methyl methacrylate. While this cement is used for the stem, while the head of the prosthesis is put on the acetabulum inside a metal cup. The stem is in the prosthesis is implanted into the upper shaft of the femur with the help of methyl methacrylate. The head of the prosthesis is put in the acetabulum inside a metal cup which moves freely. It is not attached. Coming to THR. Both the surfaces, that is acetabular as well as femoral head component, are replaced by the prosthetic component. Now coming to two types. One is cemented hip arthroplasty and one more is non-cemented. As the name goes, the fixation technique changes. In cemented, cement is used. In non-cemented, screws are used. Let's look at it how the image looks. These are the iliac bones where your acetabulum is present, and these are the prostheses. That is, one is your Austin Moray and one is Thompson, where Austin Moray is attached with the cement, whereas Thompson is attached with the nail to the head. The nail is passing within the iliacus, that is within the acetabulum, to hold it tightly. Coming to excisional arthroplasty. As the name goes, something is cut, something is excised. Let's look at it. What is cut in while we are producing or while we are performing arthroplasty? As the definition tells, one or both the articular surfaces are excised. The gap is left out. The bony fibrous tissue grows back in order to fill the gap. When we see the diagram, this is your iliac bone, this is your femur bone. Excisional is a part of the articular surface is cut out like this. When the part is cut out, the gap is created. This gap is filled in by the ingrowth of the viable tissue, viable bone. This surgery is usually performed in youngsters. This is also known as Gurlston arthroplasty. Coming to arthroplasty of the knee joint. It is nothing but replacement of the knee joint complex or a part of knee joint using metal prosthesis. This is nothing but your femur, tibia and fibula. This is also known as a tibial plateau. This is the prosthesis. That is two compartments. This is the prosthesis. This is femoral prosthesis. This is tibial prosthesis, and this is a plastic spacer. Coming to compartmental wise differentiation or classification of TKR, compartmental wise and fixation wise. First one, let's deal with compartmental wise. As I already told, the above bone is femur, the below bone is tibia and fibula. Let's just concentrate on tibia among the below bone. First one is unicompartmental, where only your lateral or medial compartment is replaced by the prosthesis. Second one, bicompartmental, where both lateral and medial compartment is replaced. Third one, tricompartmental, lateral part, medial part, and also the patellar component is replaced. Now coming to cementation type. When we are talking about cementation type, it is either cemented or non-cemented prosthesis. In cemented prosthesis, methyl methacrylate is used to cement the prosthesis to the bone. In non-cemented, screws are used to fix the prosthesis to the bone. Now coming to ankle arthroplasty. It is rarely performed. Usually ankle arthrodesis is more stable rather than performing ankle arthroplasty. So hence ankle arthrodesis is usually performed. If arthroplasty, then metal plate is implanted over the dome of the talus, which articulates with the platform consisting of high molecular weight polyethylene attached to the lower end of tibia. Let's look at the image first. The bone on the top is calcaneum, the bone beneath is talus. The prosthesis is implanted over the dome of the talus as said above. Now coming to fixation techniques, cemented and uncemented, non-cemented, calcium and talus and calcaneum and talus. Cemented, where the cement is placed to fix the prosthesis, and uncemented, the screws are placed to fix the prosthesis. One more part is left, that is your ankle arthrodesis. Fusion of the ankle of the joint is known as fusion of the joint is known as arthrodesis. That particular joint is ankle arthrodesis, more commonly performed than arthroplasty as it provides more stability. Now, we already saw in the last image that this is calcaneum, this is talus, how to fix the prosthesis, either your cemented version or non-cemented version. Let's look how the arthrodesis is fixed. Arthrodesis is only fixed purely by your screws. That is the placing the screw uh, transversely and obliquely way. Coming to arthroplasties of the upper lip. First joint, shoulder. Again, divided into two types: hemi replacement, total joint replacement. Hemi replacement arthroplasty. It is only performed only in fractured humeral component is replaced by a prosthesis and fixed with the help of bone cement. Hemi replacement, only one part is replaced, that is either your glenoid or your humeral head. Usually, humeral head is replaced in hemi replacement arthrosis. Coming to scapulae, for I already told, consider only humeral head to be replaced in hemi replacement. When you're looking at the joint, glenohumeral joint, scapula here is left unreplaced. Consider, for example, scapula here is left unreplaced. When you want to replace humeral head, this is nothing but your prosthesis similar to your THR. The prosthesis used in hip joint is as similar to used in arthroplasty of hemi replacement arthroplasty of the shoulder joint also, which also has a head and the stem. Coming to types of TSA. Now, total shoulder replacement, both the articulating surfaces are replaced. That is also your scapula as well as your humeral head. Let's look what are the types. First one is TSA, that is total shoulder replacement, given by Neers, also known as Neers prosthesis. There's one more type known as reverse TSA, that is reverse total shoulder joint orthoplasty, given by Liverpool, hence the name Liverpool prosthesis. Sorry. Let's look how the operation looks in the image. First one, consider scapula. Second one, consider the scapular part of joint, that is your glenoid fossa. In TSA, Neer told that the Neer's prosthesis should act with the respect to concave convex rule. Hence, the Neer's prosthesis also is built up on the basis of concave convex rule. Hence, the scapular part of the joint looks as if it is concave, similar to the glenoid fossa. Whereas in reverse TSA, Liverpool suggested that the concave convex rule for the shoulder joint can be reversed. Hence, the glenoid part of the scapulae is in the convex fashion in prosthesis, as you can see the two different image under the heading. Now, exactly opposite will be your humeral part. Hence, the humeral part in Neer's prosthesis is convex, whereas in Liverpool prosthesis is concave. These are the two different types of total shoulder replacement. Coming to arthroplasties of the elbow. There are three types of arthroplasties of the elbow: resection, interpositional, and implant. Let's look at each of them. First one, excisional. When we are talking about excisional, something is cut or something is removed, as we already saw it in one of the arthroplasties before. First one. When we are doing about elbow arthroplasty, when we are talking about it, especially the excisional, the operation is done in the completely flexed elbow in a transverse view. Let's look at the transverse view of a completely flexed elbow, how it looks. This is the completely flexed elbow in a transverse view. The above bone, the top bone is humerus, the below bone is ulna. Let's look at it at the ulnohumeral joint or humero-ulnar joint surfaces, how they are excised. Bend the elbow completely in a transverse view, excise the humeral part like this. When this part is excised, the underlying viable tissue of the humerus regrows itself back. It is left open, the gap is created, the viable tissue of the humerus regrows itself back to form that particular bone. This is nothing but excisional arthroplasty. It is usually indicated in stiff or ankylosed joint. Coming to second type, that is interpositional arthroplasty. In this procedure, take down the example of the humerus, ulna and radius itself. What is done in this procedure is the lower end of the humerus and upper end of the ulna are excised. These are the bones. Now damaged articular part is removed out or excised, after which the exposed ends of these both bones are covered with the tensor fascia lata strip. I'll again explain what is the interpositional arthroplasty. These are the bones where it is performed, humerus, radius and ulna. The damaged articular part is identified and it is excised out, after which it is interposed by the tensor fascia lata. The last part is implant arthroplasty. It is similar to other joint arthroplasties, where your only one difference is elbow joint has a hinged movement. So it is a hinged joint. So you have to implant something which has hinged prosthesis. So let's look how the prosthesis, the implantation looks in the elbow joint. The humerus, this is nothing but the arthroplasties of the joint, basic arthroplasty, that is just replacing the bone with the prosthesis. Now placing the implant which is hinged is looking something, it will look something like this. This center part is hinged. What does the hinged arthroplasty do in the elbow joint? It does the hinged movement, that is flexion and extension. This is very important when you are doing the implant arthroplasty in the elbow joint, that is your extension and flexion. Let's look it again, flexion and extension. This is nothing but hinged movement, the metal or plastic hinge prosthesis. Coming to arthroplasties of the hip, of the wrist. Arthrodesis of the wrist again provides better in order to stabilize it compared to arthroplasties of the wrist. Total replacement of the wrist joint allows limited mobility and pain relief. It is as similar to the ankle joint. Consider this to be your hand. This is nothing but the metal implant. This is nothing but the plastic spacer. The grayish part is nothing but your metal implant. Let's look at it. The gray part on the top is nothing but carpal component, which is attached to the carpal bone. The radial component is attached to the radial bone, and the white color is white colored image and is nothing but your plastic spacer. Coming to arthroplasty of the hand. It is indicated in painful stiff joint and or in case of deformity preventing hand function. Types of arthroplasties of the hand are excisional, recreational arthroplasty and implant arthroplasty. Excisional is nothing but cutting out and leaving the part to grow back the gap, and implant is nothing but replacing it. One more different type of swan silicone prosthesis. It's a special type because it is used in swan neck deformity of the hand, known as Swanson silicone prosthesis. This is nothing but the image of the hand, and wherein the swan neck, where it happens, the hyperextension of the proximal IP joint, proximal interphalangeal joints are replaced by the prosthesis to avoid the hyperextension which is seen in the swan neck deformity. Also, the wrist joint is included to get it replaced. This is nothing but your swan silicone prosthesis. This is the end of the lecture. Thank you one and all. Let's meet you all in the next lecture.